So I'm really excited to talk about this topic today because I think it's a really fun topic, but at the same time it's also a really deep and meaningful topic for me. So what I'm going to be talking about is what fashion means to me as a queer woman. So I personally dress quite alternative. So I do dress quite sort of a mixture between punk, goth, rock, and just a lot of creativity and colour. I didn't always dress that way. I used to wear a lot of black. I still do wear quite a bit of black. But now I like to mix a lot of colour into that. Obviously not everyone in the queer community dresses really alternative, but that's just my style. Fashion is just such a huge source of empowerment for me. You know, it's the thing that really helps me to feel like me. It really helps me to feel like myself. It helps me to express parts of who I am, my own creativity. You know, I feel like fashion is such a huge topic and it's such a huge part of the queer community and the LGBTQ plus community, because for so long it's been a way that we've expressed ourselves. And so many people within the community have experienced a lot of negativity for that. They've experienced, you know, a lot of judgment, a lot of harassment. And I think it just comes down to being different. And obviously that's not just the case within the LGBTQ community, it's also the same, I think, for anyone who's different in any way. What fashion does is it allows us to take that negativity, any negativity of judgment, and turn it into something really positive. You know, instead of running away from our differences, instead of being afraid or ashamed of our differences, it's about actually being prepared to and wanting to stand up and say, this is me, this is who I am. You know, for me, one thing that fashion does in terms of expressing my queer identity, or that part of myself, is it helps me to express my gender. So, you know, I use things like, you know, my hair, boots, combining things like leggings, boots, and tops that aren't quite dresses. So they're not quite dresses, but I can, you know, I can wear them over leggings, and I don't feel too feminine, and I feel like I'm combining sort of feminine and masculine qualities, and I feel like I'm balancing them, and it's a way that I can express androgyny and that I can really convey those different parts of myself. You know, there's just so much creativity and self-expression within the queer community, and you know, I think that fashion is just a really amazing way for us to, you know, fashion and style and the way that we present is an amazing way for us to be able to share that with other people, for us to be able to show that to other people, show that to society and to everyone else. Something really amazing that I think that the queer community is doing and is really helping with is redefining how we perceive beauty. It's redefining the societal expectations that surround beauty. You know, we're showing people that, you know, we're showing men that they don't, you know, that it's okay to be feminine. We're showing women that they don't have to be pretty, that there's another way to be, that it's okay, and that it's amazing to accept all of the parts of you, that you don't have to hide the parts that aren't, you know, that aren't expected or that don't conform to the norm. That being beautiful isn't about reaching a particular definition, that it's not about fitting into a box, and that it's just about being yourself. And there were so many different types of beautiful, and there were so many ways to be beautiful, and I think that, you know, I'm sure that there are so many people who are redefining this right now, but I think that the queer community, the LGBTQ plus community, are doing so much for that. I really think the community is doing so much to help with that. There is just so much to learn from the queer community about self-acceptance, you know, accepting yourself regardless of what other people think, regardless of how other people perceive you, what their opinions are of you, of your style, of how you dress, of your sexuality, of your gender. So, you know, there's so much to learn from the LGBTQ plus community about self-acceptance, about self-love, about, you know, really radically loving yourself, you know, no matter what people are saying around you, and no matter what you're surrounded by, even if you're different to the other people in your surroundings, in your family, in your friend groups. There's so much authenticity within the LGBTQ plus community. You know, there's such a desire to just be ourselves, to be true to ourselves, to be honest about who we are through our appearance, through our fashion, but, you know, I think in every other way that we live our lives as well. And, you know, that's what I think is so beautiful, so incredibly beautiful about queer fashion, about LGBTQ plus fashion, is the beauty within it from a place of authenticity, because I think that's what real beauty is. It's being yourself at the deepest level, and I think that really is something that we see radically within the LGBTQ plus community. If this felt relevant to you in any way, I'd really love you to comment, or follow me on Instagram as well. My Instagram should be there connected to this. Or if there's anything else that you'd like me to talk about, then, you know, let me know. And, you know, I'd love us to get a conversation started. Take care.